welcome to Promote Hope Podcast, Episode 8, Fatherhood. Before we get into our topic, I just want to say Happy Father's Day to all of the dads, papas, uncles, cousins, mentors, stand in the gap dads. I chose to do this topic because this is Father's Day weekend, so I wanted to uplift and celebrate dads, and what better way than to talk about the journey of fatherhood. I have a special guest with me today. So for all of you who have watched my previous videos of me talking about my husband, here he is in the flesh. So this is Hap. Well, let's say this is Gerald, aka Hap, aka my husband. And so all those stories you guys hear me talk about, and his journey and my journey and this and that and the kids, here he is. I am so happy to have you finally here.
Thank you.
Well, let's open up first by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as she said, my name is Gerald Johnson. Most know me as Hap or Happy. We have 4 beautiful children. Starting with the oldest, you have Braylon, Jeremiah, Jordan, and Jada. That's 3 boys and 1 girl right there at the end. We finished off strong right there.
And we're finished.
I am 28, born in Florida, raised in Tennessee. Made it here to Washington by way of the military. And that's it.
How long, so your oldest is how old?
10.
So you've been a dad for 10 years.
10 years.
Okay.
10 years strong.
Okay, Hap, so tell us, before you had children, what kind of dad did you want to be? Like, did you have an idea that you wanted to be a dad, or were you just going to cross that bridge when you got to it?
Well, from everything I've seen on TV, it kind of sculpted me into being, or sculpted the way I wanted to be a father.
Okay.
So I wanted to be a coach, a mentor, always there for my sons and my daughters. And my father also played a major role in it. The way he worked, the way he done things, I always wanted to be almost just like him. So a good work ethic and hardworking. I wanted to be that type of dad for my kids to look up to. Somebody for them to model their life after.
So now that you've had children, is your viewpoint on fatherhood different now that the kids are actually in the picture? Or do you still want to be that father that you strive to be?
I would still like to be that father I strive to be. At times it does get hard, trying to balance life with a job, also being in the military for 5 years, having a son that's away from me, and then our family continuing to grow, also trying to maintain a good and healthy marriage. Putting all those factors in, it kind of puts a little strain on you at times, but as far as trying to maintain and trying to reach that goal that I set for myself, it is a struggle sometimes. It's not always easy to be that type of father. So sometimes you gotta learn how to adjust and keep on rolling.
And so would you say that the idea of fatherhood was the easy idea, but fatherhood is actually hard? Would you say fatherhood was challenging?
Fatherhood is challenging. It is challenging. But it does come natural in some ways. It's natural for you to know how to love. To a certain degree, you may not know how to love a spouse or a person in a relationship, but as far as a kid or a child, it's easy to love your child. For me, it was easy to love my children because my father and my mother loved me. So I wanted to put that love on someone else once I was able to.
I totally understand that. I totally understand that because my idea of what I thought I was going to be as a mother, especially loving education, always working at a daycare, I thought that when I had children, it was going to be second nature, but it's actually tough. It's a tough work. You know, motherhood is not just cute clothes and dressing them up every day. It's keeping somebody alive, making sure they're eating healthy, making sure you're keeping them safe. So motherhood is difficult too, and it's different than what I pictured it to be. And then again, like the movies sell, you know, I've been playing with a baby doll all of my life. So I am assuming that it's going to be just easy as 1, 2, 3. Yeah. But then what if you get a child that's difficult? What if you get a colic baby? So all those things played a role, and I'm like, whoa, motherhood is colorful. I should say that. It's colorful. So you mentioned that you have a little girl and 3 boys.
Yeah.
Is it different raising boys from girls?
I would say so.
Okay, tell us more.
I would say so. And I think that my boys need well, actually all of my children need a tough love to a certain extent. But here, since we've had our daughter, I have noticed that it's not as easy for me, and she's only 5 months, but it's
and she's so cute.
it's I will hold her like a loaf of bread, or maybe like a egg that I don't want to crack. Versus my children, my boys, I would hold them like that egg, real soft, but it would also be like a harder outer layer. So I would hold them, but at the same time, I can be a little rough with them. But my daughter is like, there's you have to be very gentle. I've learned how to talk to my daughter, even if she is 5 months. I've learned how to talk to my daughter, and starting now to let her know how beautiful she is and how precious she is, how valuable she is, because let's put it out there, we're predators. Guys want a woman. I mean, and also the women want a man. But that's my jewel. That's my precious jewel right there. And I want to protect her as long as I can. But these boys, I want to get them out there into the world so they can get their jobs, start working, start making money, start to become a man. And for my daughter, I wanted to stay this tiny little girl for as long as possible. I also want my boys to stay young too, stay small too. But for my daughter, if I could, I would just prolong this baby phase for as long as possible, so that I can just love on her. And I love my boys too. I gotta keep on putting that in there. I love my boys too, but it's just a different type of love for my daughter. It's just a different type of love. That's it.
So you mentioned earlier that you had a son that did not live here, and you're referring to he doesn't live in your home,
right?
And so how does that make you feel, having one child that is not in the home to go to bed every night for you to say goodnight to?
It's an empty space. It's an empty space from a distance. It's like he's still there, but at the same time, I want him. I want us all to be one, like just one family right there. It would be ideal for him to be here with me. And that's it's just not the case right now. So it a lot of times I feel like something is missing. Something is missing, and I wanna fill the void. You know.
Well, it's not uncommon for a child to not live in the house with the dad or with the mom. I've seen a lot of households have that situation. So, what would you share with someone who's having that empty space or who's feeling some type of way or that disconnect with their child? What are some ways that they could connect? What are some ways that they could still have a bond with the child that may not live with them? Because I've seen several families, have that situation. How can we as people still include a child that doesn't live in the home?
Consistency. I would say consistency. Talk to him on the regular. If he's old enough to have a cell phone, then you text him on the regular. Try to find some things in common with him just so you can talk to him or her. Connected. Stay connected. Stay connected as best as possible. It is possible to love your child from a distance. It doesn't feel good all the time, and it's not easy.
No.
But it is possible. It is possible. And some circumstances have you away for a long time, but it's possible to have a relationship at a long distance with your children.
And I'm assuming it would take more work.
Yes.
It takes more work. You have to be more intentional if you are a father who isn't living in the house. I'm assuming that, would you say that was correct? You have to actually work at it.
It takes a lot of effort. It takes some effort to shoot that text message every morning or call them, talk to them, even if the conversation is short. They don't have a whole lot to say. Just call them and let them know you love them, you miss them, and you're proud of them. Like, or just give them a small little word like, "Hey, man, just have a good day. Do your best today in school. You're an awesome kid. I love you. I'm proud of you. And whatever you do, I'm right here to support you." Just let them know they got somebody in their corner. They got a shooter, because it's getting rough out here, and every child needs somebody in their corner that's shooting for them. And what better person than their father or their mother and their mother. So,
well, and I think that it's very important that you build a relationship with the child just like you would build a relationship with anyone. So like you said, find the interest, know the interest, constant communication, and also send gifts in the mail. Send things in the mail, send things to your child, and just let them know, I'm thinking about you. So switching gears, another question that I hear a lot of moms feel some type of way about is dad's multitasking. So my question to you is, did God really not put a multitasking button on the inside of you? Like, are you really like one thing at a time? Or can you not change the diaper, feed a baby, and give a bath all at the same time like we have to do? While cooking dinner, and on the phone,
I think,
and sweeping, and mopping, and driving to the store, all at the same time. So can you please make it very clear, is that a real thing? Can you multitask? Or are you tricking us?
I think
Okay.
God gave the gift of multitasking when it comes to children to women.
Okay. Okay. Tell us more.
Because when it comes to other things, per se, a man can multitask. We can do a couple of things at once.
Okay.
But when it comes to the children, I tend to have a one-track mind. If I'm feeding the baby, I'm feeding the baby. I can't do dishes. I can't do laundry. I need to hold her and give her a bottle at that moment.
Okay.
And then I can pick up that dirty diaper.
Okay.
Or change that diaper. But I can't do both at the same time like you can.
Okay. So, there you have it, moms. They can't do it. It's an unrealistic expectation. Maybe some dads have that little piece of thing, but for me, I had to learn that I think it's just a button they don't have. I think just like it's something that can be learned,
Yeah.
but it don't flow natural. Can you say that?
I agree.
So the next question I have for you is, have you ever made a mistake with your children? Like yelled and you shouldn't have, or done something wrong or said something wrong and you shouldn't have. And then if you made that mistake with your child, were you willing to fix it, or do you kind of sweep it under the rug?
I am very willing to fix the mistakes. And having 4 children, it's easy to make a mistake, especially if you're in another room and the kids are in the other room, and something happens and the kids start crying. They can't talk right now. Mm-hmm. They can't effectively communicate and tell me exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. So just off instinct, one kid's crying and the other is standing there not crying. You think the other one did something wrong. Mm-hmm. So you immediately, go yell at the other one, sit down, go time out, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But then you start to think like, I wasn't there. Mm-hmm. I didn't see what happened. So I can't just say that you hit him. Now biting, that's a different story because I can see some bite marks. And Jordan is going to timeout instantly. But it's not always the case, and we don't know the backstory. We don't know what went down in that particular situation. Mm-hmm. So if I do act off instinct and I start yelling and I say sit down, go to timeout, I may go back in the other room, think about it, and then I come back and I say, hey, come here, man. Mm-hmm. I call them over and I give them a hug. Mm-hmm. I hold both of them, I give them a hug, and I say, I'm sorry for yelling at you, mm-hmm. or I'm sorry for popping you behind. I love you. And I explain to them, even though they may not even know what I'm saying, but I explain to them and say, I'm sorry for doing that because Daddy don't know what happened. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened, and I'm sorry for yelling at you. Mm-hmm. And then I let them continue doing what they was doing instead of going back to timeout. Mm-hmm. Obviously.
So you do believe in fixing and apologizing and working through those issues with your kids. And the reason why I ask, because, I don't think sometimes we know that children are human beings. Yeah. And I believe that your raising your children is how they're going to learn and be effective in the world when they become adults. Mm-hmm. So teaching them how to problem solve, saying I'm sorry when you're wrong, is going to teach them to do that when they are wrong with their own children or as adults or in any relationship that they're in.
And even if they do something wrong, I still will try to go back to them, and after their timeout, I will talk to them and let them know what they did wrong and how they can fix it. Biting, I talk to him. I say, no, we're not supposed to be biting. Use your words. Say stop. Let go. Can I have that toy? And then I'll send them on their way. But after my hug and after my little talk, I just want to let them know that I still love them, but I have to do what I have to do in order for you to understand that this is not okay.
And when you mention hugging, mommies are affectionate. I'm kissing a boo-boo, okay? Yeah. I'm going to kiss all day, hug all day. But can fathers be affectionate? Like, where's the line drawn when you are affectionate as a father? Because some fathers are not affectionate. Some fathers think it's not okay. Some fathers are over affectionate. Like, is it okay for a father to have affection for his kids?
It's definitely okay for a father to have affection for his kids, because I know some people that can tell me to my face right now that their dad has never given them a hug or a kiss, other than maybe like graduation, situation like that. But from a kid to 18, 19 years old, I have given my dad hugs. I've given my dad kisses. At a certain age, I was like, yo, like, I don't think I'm supposed to be giving you a kiss, Pops. Like,
yeah,
I'm a man, you a man. I'm not supposed to be giving you a kiss. But he made me understand that as a father and as your son, you can give me a kiss. You can love me, man. I'm your dad, and you're my son.
Now that you have sons and daughters, now you understand what he was talking about.
Yes. I kiss my sons, not as much as possible, but before bed, I tell them I love them. Mm-hmm. I give them hugs. Mm-hmm. I want them to know that I am a safe place for you to go.
Amen.
You can come to me, and you should be able to tell me anything. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love you. I kiss you on your forehead, kiss you on your cheek, kiss you on your head. And we should be able to talk as men. You should be able to come to me at a certain point and talk to me and let me know what's going on, because I love you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Same for my daughter.
Mm-hmm. And you feel like having that affection and showing them that affection will build that trust, and then they will feel like you are a safe place. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So my next question to you is, what is some advice that you would give to a male that wants to be a father but yet doesn't have children?
I would say for you to take your time and don't rush anything. Have your wife, get you some money saved up, have you a place to stay, have some things set in order before you bring another life into your life. Mm-hmm. You want that order and everything to flow, mm-hmm. So that your child is not coming into into any chaos. Mm-hmm. So do your best to set your children up for success. Is my advice to a person that wants to be a father.
And I would share. Can I share?
Of course.
And I would share that maybe mentor some children or be around children, and you and your spouse discuss together that we're in agreement that this is what we want to do, because for us, children has really changed the dynamic of the marriage.
Definitely.
Okay, hold on. Hold up. But no, seriously, the children have really changed. Like, we wake up, they're all in the bed. We have to squeeze in time for each other. There is no, let's go on vacation, spontaneous rides somewhere. There is like kids. There is no weekend. What is a weekend? Like, okay, it's Saturday and Sunday, but still, we are waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, still doing the normal routine. And although it's wonderful, I am just grateful that I had the opportunity of doing parenthood when we had already had trips, we had already gone places and done some things, because if I would have done it prematurely, then might be fighting myself. It might be challenging for me to give up all of my time and all of myself because the baby's crying or I'm being tugged in so many different directions. And if you're an uncle or a cousin, watch some kids, babysit, you and your wife, bring some kids to your house and just do those types of things to prepare. So my next question is, what advice would you give to a first-time dad? So this is his firstborn, the wife just had a baby. What would you tell him?
Again, I would say be patient. Be patient. And do your best not to stress, because like I was saying earlier, the only communication your child has at birth is to cry. Mm-hmm. So you don't know what that cry is for. So do your best not to stress out too much, and help your wife. Help your wife as much as possible to take some of the stress off of her. Mm-hmm. If you can get the baby for a little bit, put the controller down and just spend a little time with the baby, let the baby lay on your chest, whatever the case may be, just to give your wife a break.
Or you can have the baby in your arm with a controller. Just take the baby. Okay, I just had to say that. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I would share too that we as women, on a wife standpoint, I don't think that men understand the changes that we go through. So be patient with us, because we have to come back to our normal state of being, and that might take months, and it might take weeks, and it might take years to get that hormonal balance back together. So I would share to be patient with us too, and just love us through it, because some things are out of our control. We don't know why we're crying, or we don't know why we just had a whole experience happen to us. And so now we're like in shock, epidurals, needles, knives, exhausted. So I would just say to be patient with your partner as well. So my final question is, what advice would you give to fathers all over the world, just in general? What would you say to fathers, period?
I would say, and one of my old friends told me this, and it came from a country song. He said, don't blink, 'cause just like that, your baby's growing like mine did. Growing into moms and dads. And next thing you know, you're 60 years old. So spend as much time you can with your children. Love your children as much as you can, because before you know it, they'll be graduating kindergarten, then graduating or moving on to middle school and high school, and then graduating high school, and then moving out of your house eventually, going on to college or whatever the case may be. So love your children and teach them as much as you can before they are too far out of your reach.
Well said, Hap. And I thank you so much for being a guest and allowing me to ask you questions about your personal journey as a father, your challenges that you face. And I thank you for being open and honest with our listeners. And to our fathers, again, we say happy Father's Day. We honor you. We appreciate you. We cherish you. I thank you, Hap, for providing for this family and providing for us and going out into the world during COVID. It doesn't matter. Hap is going to work and making sure that we have what we need, and then coming home and then still having enough energy to love us and and love our children and be all that you can be within a 12-hour day, a 16-hour day. So I just thank you so much for what you do every day. And your kids, all 4 of them, are absolutely crazy about you, as is your wife. So we just honor you, and we honor all the fathers. Happy Father's Day. It is a tough journey, again, but if you've had a hard time or you've had some rocky moments with your children, if God allowed you to wake up today, call your child, reconcile, connect with your child. And it's so important for you to be in that child's life. You matter in your children's life. I matter. We're a village, and you as fathers matter in your kids' lives. So we love you, we thank you, and we honor you this weekend. And ladies, don't just honor your husbands and dads and papas and uncles. Don't just honor them this weekend. Honor them. Tell them thank you. Apologize when you've done something wrong. Express your gratitude for the work that they do, because they are a very big role in the home. So we pray for them. We love y'all, and we thank you. Below is Hap's email. If you guys have any questions that you may want to ask him that I did not, or little points that you would like for him to elaborate more on, you can email him below, and he'd be more than willing to answer any questions that you may have for him. I thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you all next week.